this video I'm going to solve a collection of Snackdokus curated by the Sudoku Skunkworks. Snackdokus are small Sudoku or Sudoku adjacent puzzles designed to be solvable in 2 minutes or less. Skunkworks have curated lots of such puzzles and share them on the Cracking the Cryptic fan Discord server. They are starting Season 10 today. Furthermore, if you are a CTC Patreon, the new Patreon Rewards Pack is an extra bite pack, 5x5 puzzles that are a little bit spicier than snacks. This particular video is the first in a series of 3 videos showcasing Season 1 from early 2023. All the puzzles will be linked below. Do try them and let me know how you did. Very Basic by Panthera. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so we're going to place the digits 1 to 3 in every row and every column. There are no boxes. Japanese sum rules apply. The clues outside the grid indicate the sum of the contiguous runs found in that row of column that must be shaded the colour of the clue. There must be an unshaded cell between runs of the same colour. If a row or column is unclued, then there is no shading in that row or column. Okay, let's restart. So, we're only using the digits 1 to 3. In this row, we need 2 shaded cells because we have 2 different clues, and they must be separated by an unshaded cell. So I'm going to use purple for shaded and green for unshaded. Let's use a lighter green. There we go. So this has to be a 3, this has to be a 2, and this has to be a 1. All right, this 4 clue, we need a shaded group of cells that are summed to 4. So that has to be shaded and is now a 1. This 1 clue is fulfilled by that, so we need an unshaded cell there. This 3 clue needs to be shaded, so let's put that in, and that is now 3, and that is 2. This one is unshaded because our 4 clue is complete. This needs a shaded 3, so that is shaded. Our 5 clue is complete, so this one must be unshaded. This 3 clue is referencing this shaded cell, so that's a 3, that's a 2, and that is a 1. Thank you very much to Panthera for this fun snack. Minmax by Chili. Normal 4x4 Sudoku rules apply, so every row, column, and box has the digits 1 to 4 once each. The arrow signs between cells point to the lower of the 2 digits they lie between. So this cell must have a larger digit than this one, and this cell must be smaller than this one. Right, let's reset. And this is this must be a 3 or a 4 because it has to be larger than at least 2 cells. It has to be larger than both of those 2 cells. So that has to be at least a 3. So does this one, and so does this one. That makes these 1s and 2s to complete the rows and columns. This cell has to be larger than this one, and so that has to be a 2, that has to be a 1, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1. This is a 3 or a 4, and this is a 3 or a 4 to complete the box. This is larger than this. So that's 4, that's 3, that's 3 by Sudoku, that's 4, that is 4. This is going to be larger than that no matter what. But by Sudoku, this is a 4. 3 goes here. That must be a 2 and a 3 there. That must be a 2 there and a 1 there. That was a fun snack. Thank you very much to Chili for making it. Thermo cages by Raumplaner. Normal 4x4 Sudoku rules apply, so the digits 1 to 4 in every row, column, and box without repetition. On a thermometer, digits must increase from the bulb, so this digit is smaller than this one. Digits cannot repeat within a cage, so this must be 4 distinct digits. Okay, let's restart. I think this is going to be colouring, because this digit, for example, can't go in its own cage, so that has to go there. This digit can't go in either of those, so it must go there. So let's give that a colour. This digit can't go here because of the cage, so we can give those two a colour. Let's see. This digit can't be green because we've already got green in the cage. It can't be orange. It could be blue, I think. In fact, blue does not go in either of those two. Therefore, this has to be blue because this is 4 distinct digits. So that is blue, and that makes this blue. This is not blue, orange, or green, so we will give that one purple. That is now purple. This one must be orange. This one must be green. We have a green here. We have a purple there. That is purple, and this is orange. And now we have that. We can see that purple is less than orange, which is less than green, which is less than blue. So purple must be 1, orange must be 2, green must be 3, and blue must be 4. And I got in just below the 2-minute mark. Fun puzzle. Thank you to Raumplaner for this snack. Swirl-i Kropk-i by Qinlux. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so digits 1 to 4, once each in every row, column, and box. Normal palindrome rules apply. Digits on a line are read the same in both directions. So this digit must be the same as this, and this one the same as this. Normal Kropk-i pairs rules apply. Digits separated by a black dot have a ratio of 1 to 2, so one is double the other there. Digits separated by a white dot are consecutive, so those two are consecutive. Not all dots are given, so it's okay for other pairs to be consecutive or in a 1 to 2 ratio. Okay, let us restart. Okay, in a 4x4, I can't put a 3 on a black dot. So one of those two is a 3. One of these two must be a 3, and it has to be that one. I have to have a 2 on a black dot, because it's either 1, 2, or 2, 4. So a 2 goes there. I need a 2 on here. It can't be that one, so that is a 2. That becomes a 1, 4 pair. This digit can't be a 3, so that digit can't be a 3, so that's the 3 there. That puts a 3 into one of those two, and we have a 3 in one of those two. 2 by the must be in one of those two by Sudoku, therefore it's in one of these two, and it can't be that one. So that's a 2, and that is not. That's a 1 or a 4. That is 1 or 4. That makes this 1 or 4. This 2 makes this a 2. So 2 is none of those. That must be a 2. This is a 1 or a 3 by the white dot, but it can't be a 3. So that's a 1. That's a 4. That's a 1. That's a 4. That's a 1. That's a 1. 2 on the white dot can't go next to a 1 now, so that has to be the 3. That's the 4. 3 there and 4 there. That was a fun snack. Thank you to Qinlux for creating it. Isle of Man by Pallando. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so digits 1 to 4 in every row, column, and box. And digits on the thermometer increase from the bulb end. So digits get larger along the thermometers. Let's restart. Okay. So on each of these thermometers, that must be 1 or 2. The second digit must be 2 or 3. The third digit must be 3 or 4. We can see from this column that that's the only place for a 4. That's the only place for a 3. That 3 means that that must be a 4 to be larger than it. And this is a 1 or a 2 here. This 4 makes this a 3, which makes that's a 2 and that's a 1. That's a 2, that's a 1. Get a 1 there. The 3 here, that's a 4. 3 and 1 go in. That's a 2, that's a 4, and finally a 2. That was a fun snack. Thank you, Pallando, for making it. Whirling, Twirling by Memeristor. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so digits 1 to 4 in every row, column, and box. Cells separated by white dots must contain consecutive digits, and not all white dots are necessarily given. Okay, let's restart. This has to be a 1 by Sudoku. This now has to be a 2 by white dot. This has to be a 4. This has to be a 3. On the white dot, this has to be a 2 because it can't be a 4, so we get a 1 there. This can't be a 4 because this can't be a 3, so this must be a 4, this must be a 2, this still can't be a 3, so that must be a 1, and we get a 4 there. That makes this a 2-3 pair, and the 2 up there tells us that's a 3, that's the 2, we get a 3 in there and a 4 there. That was a fun little snack. Thank you very much to Memeristor for its construction. Renbands by Another Brick in the Wall. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so 1 to 4 in every row, column, and box. Digits on a purple Renband line must be a consecutive set of digits in any order. And to clarify, that is without repeats. Okay, let's restart. All right, 1 has to go onto one of those 2. 4 is over here. If that's a 1, then that's a 2, and that's 3. If that's not a 1, that's a 1. So that is 1 or 3. This now has to be 2 or 4. That means that 1 is here. So that's a 2. That is now 4. That is 3. That is 1. That is 2. We get a 2 there, a 4 there, 3 up here, 3 here, 3 here, 1, and 4 and 2. And that was a fun snack. Thank you, Another Brick in the Wall, for creating it. Warm Spring by grkles. Normal 6x6 rules apply, so the digits 1 to 6 in every row, column, and box. Digits along a thermometer must increase from the bulb. Let's restart. Okay, we have a 6-cell thermometer here, so that has to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This now can't be a 1, so must be at least a 2, and it's a 5-cell thermometer, so that actually has to go 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we finish off with Sudoku. So we get a 3 there. That sees 1, 2, 3, and 6, and 4, so that is a 5. So that's a 1, 2 there. 4 can't go in either of those two, so that is a 4. That can't be 5 either, so that's a 6. That's a 5. That's not a 2, so that's the 1. That's the 2. That is a 1, 4 pair. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so that is 6. That's the 5 there, that's a 1. This must be the 4 and the 6. 5 is here, and that is not a 1, 2 pair, that was a typing error or a braining error, that's a 1, 4 pair. but I think we're still good. I don't think I used that. But that 4 gives me a 1 and a 4 there. This is a 2 and a 3. Don't know the order. This one is a 3. We have 1 is not there. That's a 1. That's a 2. That resolves the 3 and the 2 up here. This one makes this 4. This 1. We get 6 here, 3 here, and 2 there. Lovely little puzzle, and I managed to get in under the wire even with my little mistake there. Thank you very much to grkles for creating it. Tri-cornered by rockratzero. Alright, irregular 5x5 Sudoku rules apply. So digits 1 to 5 in every row, every column, and every outlined region. Adjacent digits on a green line differ by at least 3. So if this were a 1, this would have to be 4 or 5. Cells connected by a V contain digits that sum to 5, so those 2 digits sum to 5. Digits in a grey circle, grey shaded circle are odd. Okay, let's restart. So these have to be either 2, 3 or 1, 4, but 2 and 3 are not sufficiently apart. And in fact, on a with at least difference of 3, 3 can't go on a green line. So we can put a 3 there. That must be a 1, 4 pair. This must be a 2, 5 pair. The circle is odd, so that's a 5. That's a 2. That is a 4. No, that's a 1. That's a 4. This now must be 4 or 5. This must be 1 or 2. Right, 3 does not go in any of those, so one of those 2 is a 3. Let me see. This can't be a 5, so that must be 1 or 3. This makes this 2 or 4, but it can't be a 2. So that is a 4. That is now 1. Helps if I type that correctly. That 1 makes this a 2. These are 3 and 4 for the column, but this one's not a 3. So that's a 4, that's a 3, and we get a 1, 5 pair here. Let's see. That can't be 4, that can't be 4, so 4 is in one of those 2. I need a 3 in this row, which can't be here, so that's a 3. That means that's not a 3, and that one is. This is now a 1 or a 5. So 2 is in one of those 2. That is not a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or 1, so that is 5. Now 5 can't go there, so that's a 5. That makes the... no, it does not. That's a different region. Nearly. So these are 1, 2, and 4. That one's not 2. That one's not 4. These are 2 and 3. This 3 makes this 2, this 3. 2 is out in one of those 2. That can't be 1, 5, 3, or 4. So that's 2. That's 1, 4, and 2. This 4 makes this 5. So this is 1, this is 5. And we need a 4 and a 1, which go there and there. That was a fun, if a little longer snack. Thank you very much to rockratzero for creating it. Sunlounger by Malrog. Normal 4x4 Sudoku rules apply. Normal Thermo rules apply. Digits on the must increase from the bulb end to the tip. Normal palindrome rules apply. Digits on grey lines read the same in either direction. Okay, let's restart. This is a 1 or a 2. These two are 2 or 3. And these are 3 or 4. This must be a 4, therefore, and so that is a 4. 4 can't go in any of those now, so that is a 4. This can't be a 4, so that's 3, 2, and 1, and this must be 3. 4 goes there. That's a 2. That can't be a 2 because of that 2, therefore that can't be a 2, and that's a 1. That's a 2. 2 there. This is a 1 by the palindrome. That's a 3. 3 there, and 1 there. Lovely little snack. Thank you to Malrog for creating it. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed the souls, please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see more, and I'd love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.